I'm at a stage where I grin when pressure rises, because the tougher the climb, the smaller the crowd becomes. Hard isn't a curse, it's a sieve. It separates the committed from the comfortable, the hungry from the hopeless. When that clicks, something flips inside you. Most people meet a challenge and say, "This is too hard." But if you train your mind to say, "Good, let it be hard," few will follow me here. Everything shifts. You stop treating struggle as suffering and start seeing it as selection. Each step forward is another gate that screens out the average. Every setback is a checkpoint, only the relentless pass. Nothing great will be handed to you, nothing, everything real, strength, success, freedom, respect, must be earned. You can't bluff your way to the top. You can't skip the pain, the grind doesn't bargain, it demands everything and pays in silence. If you want change, stop waiting for permission, luck, or recognition. No one's coming to rescue you, no one's delivering the dream, you build it, brick by brick, day by day, when no one's watching and no one believes. Before we jump in, one small favor, if you can like or hype this video, it helps the channel reach more people who need these words today. Thank you. For the next 3 years, be selfish, unapologetically selfish. Treat your growth like your life depends on it, because it does. Get strong mentally, physically, financially. Put your oxygen mask on first before trying to save anyone else. Build a foundation so solid nothing and no one can shake it. Stack your money, sharpen your skills, protect your peace, be selfish with your time, be greedy with your ambition. Chase your potential like your soul is on fire. Stop apologizing for wanting more. Stop shrinking to fit into small rooms with small minds. You have a limited window to set up your future. Don't waste it trying to please people who aren't even in the arena. If you go all in now, stop wishing and start working. Stop talking and start doing. Then in 5, 7, 10 years your life will be unrecognizable. You'll look back and barely recognize the person who hesitated, doubted, and waited for the right moment. But hear this. There are no shortcuts. You can't remove the work ethic. There's no elevator to the top. The elevator doesn't go that high. You have to take the stairs. They're steep, dark, and feel endless. You'll trip, you'll fall, you'll want to quit. But the stairs are where you grow. The stairs are where you separate yourself. Get gritty, learn to love the process. The harder choice and the right choice are almost always the same. Nothing meaningful is easy. Easy belongs to those who already gave up. When I was younger, they told me to do my homework. Mine wasn't on paper, my homework was life. Discipline, showing up when I didn't feel like it, that was the assignment. Outwork everyone who said they wanted it. The people who change the world, or at least their world, are the obsessed. Someone once asked me what separates champions. Most people ask, what do they have that I don't? Wrong question. Ask, what do they lack that I have? Champions are missing an off switch. They don't stop, they can't. It isn't motivation, it's wiring. Every part of their lives, every choice, every action aligns to one mission. There are 2 kinds of champions, those who prepare to win and those who prepare to dominate. The difference? Winners train until they get it right. Dominators train until they can't get it wrong. Life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It starts when you decide to go all in. If you're going to do something, do it with your whole soul. Say what you mean and mean what you say. If you can't do it, admit it. Don't fake it. Don't overpromise. But if you say you're in, be fully in. No hesitation, no safety net. Half measures will destroy you. Trying it out is fear's language. Decide first, then execute. Don't test the water, dive in. Swim until you reach the other side or go down fighting. The only thing worse than failure is not knowing. That's what keeps people up at night, wondering if going all in might have worked, if not quitting early could have won it, if believing harder might have opened the door. When you give everything, when you pour your whole being into it, even if you fail, you win, you learn who you are. You gain peace. You can look in the mirror and say, I didn't half-ass it. That's power. That's freedom. And when you go all in and succeed, when you realize you were built for this, that's purpose, destiny. That's when you become unstoppable. That's the point. Not because it's easy, not because it's guaranteed, but because at the end you'll know. You faced the mountain and didn't walk away. You smiled when life tried to break you because you knew few would follow into that storm. That's the moment you realize you weren't chasing success, you were becoming it. Right now, your family is looking for someone, the one strong enough to hold things together when the world shakes. They're searching for the pillar, the rock, the anchor. When they look around, make sure they find you. These are the times that define men. Strength isn't optional, it's required. When chaos hits, the world doesn't need more noise. It needs a man who can stand still while everything around him trembles. Be that man, don't crumble. Carry the weight, absorb the pain, the doubt, the fear, and move anyway. A friend of mine, Alex, said something I'll never forget. The heaviest things in life aren't iron or gold, they're unmade decisions. He was right. Most stress comes from choices sitting in your mind like weights you refuse to lift. You want peace, make the decision, even if it's hard, especially if it's hard. I learned how to summon strength out of thin air, to generate clean dopamine on command, not from people or applause, but from within. I trained 99% of my life alone, no pats on the back, no good job, it just me. When you live like that, years in silence, working in the dark, pushing through misery, you emerge with something inside no one can touch. That's why when life gets heavy, I flip the switch instantly. That energy people see, that fire, it isn't a costume. It's a mode I become when needed. Fight through the darkness by yourself long enough, and you learn to light your own fire. You stop needing outside motivation, and that's exactly why people look to you for it. The world roots for those who don't need rooting. It loves you after you've made it, while you're climbing, bleeding for it, silence, on that lonely path. You're too different for your old circle and not yet successful enough for the people you admire. You live in the middle zone, alone, unseen, misunderstood. That's when you need support most. You hope someone will clap, believe, say, keep going. That's not how it works. After you win, the crowd appears when you need it least, so become your own crowd. Be the one who claps when no one else will. It's a lonely sound, one clap echoing in an empty room. But that's what greatness sounds like at the start, you rooting for you. It might be that way for years, just you and the quiet, until one day the world finally catches on. If you're walking alone, struggling, feeling unseen, you're on the right path. The path of the exceptional is, by definition, an exception. You stand apart, you're not meant to fit in, you're meant to rise above. Stop resisting the loneliness. Stop resenting the silence. That isolation proves you're exactly where you should be. If everyone were cheering, it would mean you're still with the crowd, not ahead of it. And that's not your place. Now is the time. You're not early, you're late, you're 30. You've already lost years to hesitation, distraction, doubt. It's a man's game now. Wake up and move. Every day you waste is one more you'll want back. Get hungry, get focused. No one's coming to save you, except you. When I walk into any room, I know who I am. I carry a bulletproof mind. I don't hope to perform. I know I will. Confidence isn't arrogance. The ignorant call it arrogance. The intelligent call it clarity. I know who I am, what I've done, and what I can do. That isn't arrogance, that's evidence. Most people don't fail for lack of talent. They fail because they avoid trade-offs. They want everything, success without sacrifice, progress without pain. Life doesn't work like that. There are no perfect solutions, only trade-offs. Every decision costs something. You can't win everywhere. If you pour into one thing, something else will be neglected. That's okay. If you won't make trade-offs, you'll stay stuck. Stop chasing the perfect plan or ideal moment. They don't exist. Choose, commit, move. Time is running. And when the storm comes, when life turns hurricane and everyone else runs for cover, be the one still outside, jogging through the wind while the world hides indoors. That's what separates the few from the many, the doers from the watchers. They'll call you crazy, arrogant. Then, when the dust settles, they'll call you something else. Unstoppable. We live in strange times. No great war, no great depression. The surface looks peaceful, but inside each person is a fight. Our great war is spiritual. Our great depression is our own lives. Emptiness, scrolling, comparison, the quiet sense we were built for more. We're not dodging bullets anymore. We're dodging accountability, not starving. We're drowning in comfort, not struggling to survive. We're struggling to find meaning. And somewhere in that fog, people started speaking the most dangerous words. I can't. It makes my skin crawl. It's the anthem of the weak, the language of those who accept defeat before they try. When I hear it, I can't. I hear it, I won't. Because you can, you just won't. You don't want to pay the price. You don't want to sacrifice, to suffer, to stay uncomfortable long enough to discover what you're capable of. I don't have time for that energy. I won't sit with people who shrink from difficulty. Stop living for outcomes. Stop being addicted to results and the if-then trap. If I get this job, then I'll be happy. If I hit this number, then I'll feel successful. If I achieve this goal, then I'll be enough. No, you do the work because it needs doing. You show up because that's who you are. You keep going because that's your identity now, not because the world claps. And if you don't get what you expected, you still show up. You still move forward. The process is where growth lives. The process is where you change. What matters more, what you get, or who you become chasing it. Success that changes your bank account without changing your character will always feel empty. So I live by one rule: turn expectation into appreciation. When things don't go your way, stop sulking, start studying. What is this moment trying to teach you? Every failure carries a lesson. Every loss carries a blessing, if you're willing to see it. Most people freeze at step one, paralyzed by indecision. They stare at infinite possibilities and drown. They want every door open, so they never walk through any. They overthink, wait, plan, and then time passes them by. Opportunities don't vanish, they move on to someone brave enough to act. Pick a direction and go, not halfway, but fully committed. Adopt a zero options mentality, no backup plan, no safety net. No, I'll try it and see. On the days I don't want to move, I tell myself what I've told myself for years. If I don't show up, if I don't push through today, I'll be out there digging ditches. Maybe that isn't literally true anymore, but mentally it keeps me sharp and hungry. The mind needs pressure and consequence. Once you give yourself an out, you'll take it. So I operate like I have no choice but to succeed. I pick a thing and stay with it until it's done. No doubt, no question, no loose ends. Yes, it's hard. That's how you build grit. That's how you forge something inside that doesn't break when life hits back. Most won't commit because they're terrified of failure. They forget failure is part of the contract. They catastrophize. If I fail, I'll lose my job. Then no one will respect me. Then I'll never recover. Then I'll be broke. Then I'll die. It's ridiculous, but that's fear's voice. Exaggerations and fake catastrophes. When I stopped and thought rationally about failure, I realized it's not that bad. If I try and fail, what really happens? I dust off, apply again, tell the story, learn, maybe come back stronger. Failure doesn't destroy you. It refines you. It doesn't make you less. It makes you interesting. It makes you valuable. It gives you a story, perspective, an experience you can't buy. The world loves people who walked through fire and didn't burn. So I stopped saying someday. I used to say it a lot. Someday I'll start my own business. Someday I'll chase what I really want. Someday is the biggest lie we tell to stay comfortable. Someday means never. I looked at my life. No kids, no wife, no heavy responsibilities. If it's tough now, it'll be nearly impossible later. So I moved now. I stopped talking about what I wanted and started building, brick by brick, failure by failure. I pulled the dream from the end of my sentence and made it the start of every one. That's the real war, not with the world, but with yourself. The battle isn't outside anymore, it's inside. Potential vs comfort, discipline vs doubt, who you are vs who you're afraid to become. That's the modern battlefield, the human spirit under siege by its own excuses. Stop saying I can't. You can, you just haven't committed. The space between who you are and who you could be collapses the moment you decide to move. Do you think Michael Jordan was merely interested in rings? Do you think Kobe Bryant was just interested in basketball? Do you think Jeff Bezos was simply interested in shipping boxes? Do you think Elon Musk wakes up and says, I'm interested in rockets today? No, they weren't interested. They were obsessed, obsessed with becoming the best, obsessed with the process, obsessed with the climb. Interest fades. Obsession endures. Interest changes with mood, energy, circumstances. Obsession doesn't care how you feel, doesn't check the weather, doesn't wait for motivation, doesn't want applause. Obsession stays when no one else does, when the world turns its back and the lights go out, when no calls, no texts, no believers remain. Obsession whispers, we keep going. Look at me, alone, no audience, no fans, no cameras, no cheers, and I'm still working. Sometimes no one will be there to motivate, push, clap, or celebrate you. That's life. If you need constant validation, you won't go far. Learn to clap for yourself, learn to wake yourself up. Become your own coach, your own cheerleader, your own fuel source. That's what separates champions. They don't wait for motivation, they generate it. Champions do daily what everyone else does occasionally. It isn't magic, it's consistency. You're not extraordinary because you're different. You're extraordinary because you do the ordinary extra. That's the secret, that's the separator. But there's a voice in all of us, that lazy whispering parasite, telling you to rest, delay, scroll, start tomorrow. It's seductive because it sounds logical. That voice is not your friend, it's your enemy. If you want to win, you have to kill it, daily. Decide to be a professional. A pro doesn't negotiate with that voice. A pro shows up tired, uninspired, heartbroken, overwhelmed, and still shows up. Because that's what a professional does. There's an old idea about the muse, that creativity, discipline, or greatness visits those who show up. Whether you believe that or not doesn't matter. What matters is this: when you act like it's real, it works. Sit down every day ready to give your best, and something starts to move. The universe responds to consistency, faith, commitment. You begin to channel energy, strength, focus, and ideas you didn't know you had. Your life is defined in small, daily moments, not one big decision. Every time you get up instead of sleeping in, every time you choose discipline over distraction, every time you pick hard over easy. Those moments stack, they compound, they shape who you are. That's how identity is built. That's how you become the guy, the man who says what he'll do and does it. The man who moves with quiet confidence, not because he's gifted, but because he's proven himself to himself. Repeat that long enough and your life changes. You walk differently, think differently, attract differently. You carry a force that becomes hard to stop. So ask yourself, why not you? You've got the brains, you can decide, you can study the plan. You can learn the skills, you can change your life, you can grow massively in the next few years. You can build a financial wall around your family that nothing breaks through. You can become healthy, strong, powerful, respected. Why not you? The people you admire were once just like you, scared, unsure, inexperienced. The only difference is they started. Make sure in this next chapter that the people who walked away, doubted you, or gave up on you understand exactly what they lost. Do something so big, so undeniable, they sit on that couch years later and say, I should have believed. I should have stayed, I should have waited a little longer. Give them something to regret, not out of spite, but as proof. Proof their absence didn't stop you. Proof your worth was never determined by their presence. Remember, every second is a credit or a debit. Every action counts. Mindless TV, wasted time, people who drain your energy, those are negatives on your ledger. The law of accumulation doesn't care about your excuses, it measures your actions. People with great lives, powerful careers, strong bodies, sharp minds, they've simply stacked more credits than debits, more hours of discipline than hours of distraction. Nothing is neutral. Every moment either moves you closer to your goals or pulls you away. Every choice is a vote for the future you want, or the one you'll regret. Tomorrow, ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now moving me toward who I want to be or away from it? That's life, a series of choices. The obsessed choose forward, the average choose comfort, and the few who stay obsessed, who fight that lazy voice and keep showing up day after day no matter what, those are the ones who don't just live. They lead. There are two kinds of pain in this life, the kind that breaks you and the kind that changes you. One crushes your spirit, the other forges it. One destroys your faith, the other rebuilds it stronger. That pain you feel when you push through, the burning lungs, the mind screaming to quit, that isn't suffering. That's transformation, that's the pain of progress. The pain that destroys you doesn't come from the grind, it arrives later in silence, when you face the mirror and realize you could have been more. That pain lingers, the what if that never leaves, the tears for the potential you let die, that's the real pain. Knowing you quit on yourself, on your life, you have every opportunity in front of you, every chance to become extraordinary. There are no excuses left. Be the hardest worker in every room, school, career, gym, relationship, your name is on it. And that name, that reputation, that legacy, is the only thing you truly own. Protect it, honor it, make it mean something. Most people die full of ideas, dreams, and actions they never took because they were afraid, lazy, or comfortable. Don't be one of them. Be the best version of yourself in everything you do. You don't need a dramatic backstory or impossible starting point for your life to matter. You don't need money, luck, or perfect conditions. You need faith. Faith in God, faith in yourself, faith in the process. You need passion, the deep, burning drive that moves you when everyone else sits. And you need relentless effort, the kind that doesn't take days off, doesn't need applause, and doesn't stop when tired. If you give everything you have every day, if you live in the moment and pour your soul into your work, growth is inevitable. Second place isn't an option anymore. Average isn't an option anymore. You get out there what you put in here. So why give half? Why show up with anything less than your full potential? What's the alternative? Sit on the couch, watch others win, and let life pass you by. You have two choices, take time off or take time to get ahead. If that sounds like an easy choice, it's because you believe in yourself. If it feels hard, it's because you don't. People who believe they can win want to show up. People who don't believe avoid the grind. They've already decided the outcome. They don't see training, studying, or work as an investment. They see it as a waste. They don't sharpen their weapons because they've already surrendered. Everyone hears that inner voice. Can you really do this? Is it even worth it? What if you fail? That voice convinces people to stop chasing greatness. It's rarely the world that stops you. It's your own mind. They hang up their cape. They hang up their dream. And they wait, not living, not growing, just waiting for the next excuse, waiting for life to push them. But whatever excuse you have, someone had it worse, and still did it anyway. Less time, less money, less support, less hope, and they still made it. Your excuse isn't real, it's convenient. Success doesn't care where you start. Its only currency is effort, its only requirement is work. If you want to change your life, change your ways. Build discipline, build strength, fall in love with consistency. Worthwhile goals aren't achieved overnight. They take time, repetition, relentless pursuit, day after day for years. And just like success isn't fast, failure isn't sudden either. Your life usually doesn't implode. It erodes, one skipped workout, one excuse, one compromise at a time. I'll do it tomorrow becomes a habit. A year disappears. That's why you need awareness, because every small action counts. And if you're a 30-year-old man talking about work-life balance, you're around the wrong people. Your circle is either pulling you up or dragging you down. That feeling that you've outgrown your group isn't loneliness, it's evolution. It's your ambition speaking louder than your need to belong. Listen, you're not meant to fit in with everyone, you're meant to grow beyond them. And don't buy the modern lie that says you should never criticize yourself, never feel pressure or guilt or discomfort. That's nonsense. The voice that says, you could have done better, that's not insecurity, that's your higher self calling you up. That's your potential demanding more. Hear it, don't silence it. That's the version of you that refuses to settle, the one that's done with excuses. So the next time you feel pain, remember, there are two types, the pain that breaks you and the pain that builds you. You decide which it becomes. Let it destroy you, or let it change you, but don't run from it. The pain of effort is temporary, the pain of regret lasts forever. Choose the pain that transforms you. One day you'll look back at the version of yourself who refused to quit, and you'll thank him for saving your life. When it's all said and done, when the world goes quiet and the lights go out, it'll be you and the mirror. No filters, no excuses, just you and the truth. You'll know if you showed up when it mattered. You'll know if you gave everything, or let comfort talk you into settling. You'll know whether you chased your potential or buried it. Because eventually the noise fades, the applause, the metrics, the likes. What remains isn't what you earned, it's who you became. The man who refused to quit, the one who kept going when nobody believed, the one who turned pain into power, doubt into discipline, and fear into fuel. That's what matters, that's what lasts. Every scar you carry, every loss you took, every night you almost gave up, none were signs of weakness. They were proof you were still in the fight, proof you kept moving when others stopped, proof you were becoming someone greater. So wherever you are, tired, broken, uncertain, don't stop, don't fold, don't run, keep pushing, keep building, keep showing up. Someone out there is watching you, praying you don't quit, hoping you'll prove it's possible. Be that proof. Be that light, be the example that shows what's still possible when the world says it isn't. And when your story is told, make sure they remember your name, not because you never fell, but because you always got back up. Now stop waiting, stop thinking, stop hoping life will hand you what it never promised. Get up, get to work. Write your story while you still have time. Be the reason someone else starts. Be the proof that pain can become power. Be the one who decided enough, and now it's your turn. When the noise fades and it's just you and that quiet voice inside, ask, am I becoming who I was meant to be? Most people quit long before the finish line. Most stop when it hurts. But if you're still showing up, still carrying the weight, still building yourself piece by piece, you're not like most. So if you're still standing, still pushing, still refusing to give up, comment still in the fight. Let's see how many of us are still here. Remember, only you decide how limitless you are.